There's a lot of bad marketing companies out there. Marketing companies have a bad reputation. That's on them. Just like consultants, same thing, right? And I get why. However, with that said, a lot of dental practices marketing fail because they don't have clarity around conversion. They don't know what Susan's phone conversion is for marketing patients. And it's hard to convert them. It's not easy. If you're just walking in or you just said, oh, I just gave them training one time and there's zero accountability and there's no KPIs, they're not going to convert those. So how do you come in and help people solve that? And then what's the next phase? So phone, everybody knows about the phone and we'll spend a little bit of time on that. But then how do we move into the office and retain those?
Right. Well, the phone call is so critical. And I'll tell you what we do is we hire people for our front desk who answer the phone. And it's literally the first thing we have them do. I have for real seen people on their first day looking for a card because they're answering the phone, not even knowing like the office address. They're that ill-equipped to be picking up the phone. And what we do is we teach them just pick up the phone and answer questions. They don't even recognize an inquiry as a potential sale. So if I ask teams all the time, like, how do you do with new patients? Every single one of them will say, pretty good. Pretty much everybody who calls schedules, unless they have Medicaid. And that's and I say, so, okay, everybody calls schedules. And what they mean by that is everybody who calls and says, I'd like to schedule an appointment, schedules. But anybody else who says, do you take this insurance or how much is an implant? They don't schedule. If I ask them about that, they'll say, well, they just wanted to know if we take this, or they just wanted to know how much this was. And I'm like, no, that's not what they wanted to know. Yeah. What they wanted to know is, can you see me? Can you help me? So when your front desk is telling you, so if there's a doctor listening to this and your front desk tells you we convert everybody, really they're converting 50%? Not even? Not even. Probably not even. Honest. And you probably know this. I mean, I commonly see without really any training, it can be as low as 30 to 40%, especially if you are an office that is exiting insurance or not in network with every single person, you're probably in the 30s. And it starts with, honestly, helping the team members understand that that's a lead. Well, I don't truly think it registers as a lead. And let me just frame it up this way. So to make it simple, because people like square numbers. So if you're spending $10,000 on marketing and you're at 30% conversion, that means 7,000 of it is lost on the phones, right? That's just gone. And then to your point, now it's you lost a lead or you didn't convert. The way I look at it is, if you're spending $10,000 and you get 100 leads, you're paying $100 to make that phone ring. And I'm just using round numbers. So each person that doesn't convert is like you're washing $100 bill down the drain, right? And your team isn't aware of that, and they're not. I've never met a team without them being coached that understand or look at it that way. Yeah, and actually, we do a lot of things, and this is my own story with it. We do a lot of things that sabotage them on the phone. A lot of times, what I will hear people, like from a sales standpoint, doing on the phone is terrible, but it's literally what they've been instructed to do. So my own best example of this is I used to have two of my offices were about 3 miles apart in Madison, Wisconsin. Same basic market, same demographic, same marketing budgets. One was seeing about 45 new patients a month. The other was lucky to see like 12 a month. And I just kept getting, nobody wants to schedule, we're not getting calls, And this was before I had phone tracking. And I had this lucky stroke of fate where I had the office manager and the front office person at this second office out for a couple of days. And I was literally there answering the phones myself. And the first day I was there, I scheduled 8 new patients, which showed me that the phone was ringing quite a bit, actually. But one of them stands out to me to this day because it was a young kid who had said, hey, do you guys require an FMX? That was his first question. And in my head, like I thought, oh, crap. If either of my team members had answered this, they would cite our X-ray policy and say, we do require our new patients to have a current full series of X-rays and because they're being good policy upholders. But instead, because of the position as I was in, I said, well, you know, we would love for you to have one, but tell me why you ask. Right. And he's like, well, I've been going to Dr. So-and-so down the street, good, reputable doctor, my whole life. And it's his policy that once you turn 23, you have to have an FMX. And I said, oh, well, is there a reason you don't want to have one? And he's like, well, I would. This is how I know he's had this explained by a dental person. I would, except that I just had a pano and I'm not eligible for an FMX. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, how about this? We would love to have you. Why don't we get you in for cleaning and checkup? We'll get those x-rays sent over here. And if our doctor feels like you need an FMX, it's on me.
Yep.
And he said, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. I said, you know, well, otherwise, if you're healthy, we probably won't need it. We'll take it next time you're eligible.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, great. We scheduled this cleaning. And then he's like, oh, by the way, do you guys do Invisalign? And I was like, yep, we sure do. He said, well, that's great, because my mom just said she'd pay for my Invisalign. So this doctor down the street lost a call over $100 FMX, and I got a $5,000 Invisalign call just because I simply said,
yep. You explained it, and you explained it in a way that they would understand, right? Like he had no idea what he was talking about. And to your point, just so everybody hears you loud and clear, it's not that you have horrible front desk people. It's that they haven't been trained and they haven't been set up for success. Like, that's the bottom line. And if not, you're going to lose more than half of your new patients on the phone. And it doesn't matter how much marketing you have. So I love that you're passionate around that and you help people around that.